Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and this is another exciting episode of Wednesday Night Writer Circle. I'm joined by Zombie, and we have Mecha McCheese, and Crypto Comics is making a special guest appearance. Say hello, Crypto.
Hello, Crypto.
There we go. And we have the 6M. How do you want to be referred to as this evening?
Just call me Tim.
Tim. Okay, we have Tim. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, all right.
There are those who call me Tim.
Yes, who will be presenting this evening's pages, and then later on we're going to be having
Smug.
Smug. Here he is right now. Hold on, we're adding him to the stream. Hello, Thomas.
I'm already here.
You are already here. Very good. Okay. All right. So, Tim, tell us about the story we're gonna be hearing about.
Well, this started as a screenplay, and then I adapted it into a comic script. Mecha McCheese got me into comics last year, mostly starting by doing artwork for the Drawn and Quartered show. Mm-hmm. But I've been a writer much more than I've been an artist. And so we'll bring it in here and see how it goes. I just basically translated it over today after talking to some of you guys in the Discord on advice to turning screenplays into comic scripts. So we'll see how it goes.
All right.
You want a synopsis of what's going on? It's basically it's a guy who lives in the wilderness, and he coexists with hunters, but he kind of loses his shit when the hunters, instead of hunting the legal game, in this case ducks, kill a bobcat. And then he ends up killing pretty much anyone he finds out there to exact his retribution on their trespasses to that world that he lives in.
It's an extreme environmentalist.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not awfully fond of bobcats, but okay, I'm not going to let that prejudice me as we go through this evening's pages. Okay, let's see. Here's what we're going to do. You are going to assign roles. So the most exciting role is going to be the narrator. Who would you like to read the narrator?
I'll play the narrator. I have a lot of experience. I'll offer myself up.
Okay.
All right. And then
I just need that bigger.
So here's the characters we've got. The antagonist is called Great Horned Owl.
Okay. And who will be reading Great Horned Owl?
Mecha, I think you can do that one good.
Great Horned Owl.
Preston, You're going to play Whale Shark.
Shark.
He's that's just his nickname. He's the officer, wildlife conservation officer.
All right.
Then there's a brother and a sister. That's all the characters. Do we have 2 more people to cover those?
All right. Now, are you sure you want to narrate and you don't want someone else to narrate?
I could narrate. I'd rather narrate than read character voices. I'd like to hear other people read the character voices.
But I'm saying, all right, but you only have like a narrator in like 4 parts, right?
Yes.
And there are 5 of us, I think, aren't there? I think there are 5
plus him. Yeah, there's 5 plus him.
Yeah, so why don't you just assign all the parts to us, and then you as the writer can just sit and listen to your work being read and make notes.
I love that.
So then,
definitely.
Who do you want to narrate?
I can do this. This is not a problem. I could do all these characters.
He volunteered to narrate will be the narrator.
All right. So who was that?
Crypto Comics.
Crypto Comics will be our narrator. Okay, very good. All right. Without further ado, unless you have anything else you think we or the audience should know.
So who are the other characters?
I know I'm reading Whale Shark.
So Preston's Whale Shark, Mecha McCheese is Great Horned Owl. Then you got a brother and a sister named Shy and Billy. Shy will be there to the end. Billy's not going to have a whole lot of talking parts, just a few.
Preston, can you increase the page size just a hair? That'd be
I'll
really
be Billy.
helpful.
Is that work?
That's more than enough, absolutely.
Shy is sort of our desperate hero. She's going to experience some trials and tribulations.
There we go.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that should totally be Smug again.
Okay. Narrator, start us off.
Broken Wing, issue number 1. Written by Tim. Splash page, panel 1. It is a foggy morning over a flooded, marshy swamp. The water is still and dark. On the muddy shore is a dead woman, lying in an X-pose, nude and disemboweled. She is filthy with mud. A circle of vultures loom in the sky above, and a trail of boot prints leads to the water's edge, where a giant man, bald and bearded and graying, is skulking into the water. He is obscured mostly in silhouette and brandishing a massive knife that glints out from the dark. Chop us, change us, prod us, weed us, for stagnation is despair. C.S. Lewis. A tan sport boat is speeding by, churning up a big wake. It says State Fish and Wildlife Conservation on the side. Close-up of Officer Whale Shark Hughes driving the boat. He wears reflective aviators. He is a burly ex-Navy type with a perfectly trimmed regulation blonde mustache, a blonde crew cut, and bold freckles on his face and hands. Whale Shark rips off his aviators, which in his hand show a reflection of the body. Close-up of the dead woman, now being picked at by the carrion birds. Close-up of Whale Shark, hand over his mouth.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
3 silhouetted men stand talking inaudibly in front of the morning sun between a black, unlabeled Ford Police Interceptor car and a large FWC marked pickup truck. A police helicopter followed by a news helicopter fly in the background. Whale Shark stands between 2 detectives. Detective Moss, a stocky Mexican-American with 20-plus years on the job. Perfectly round, bald head and no beard, with thick eyebrows and a tired-of-it expression. The other, Detective Hotshot Dunn, 32, a skinny, black-haired ex-Jewish atheist and newly promoted detective. His hair sticks out in a wad of careless curls behind his plain olive-green ball cap, and he smokes a cigarette.
Shit, man, just take a look for yourself. I need a smoke.
Hotshot points the pack at Whale Shark. A cigarette sticks out from the crumpled soft package. Whale Shark has the cigarette between his lips.
Thanks, man. Light?
Hotshot holds a lighter to Whale Shark's cigarette.
Who's Hotshot? Do we have a Hotshot?
I'll do that one.
Go ahead.
They're Turkish. Real nice.
Close up on Whale Shark. His eyes are closed, his face turned toward the sky, cigarette burning between his pursed lips.
Oh, yeah.
Now fuck off, Whale Shark.
Oh, fuck you too, Hotshot.
2 months later. Establishing shot of the marshland, dark, early morning, foggy. Ducks fly up in the distance with gunshot boom sound effects. Whale Shark is cruising in the boat, holding a radio receiver. He is shrugged into a fur-lined coat, and his hair is a little longer now. His mustache is a little less perfectly groomed.
Hughes here. It's 0500. We have some early birds out hunting this morning, conducting license checks. Over.
Whale Shark holds binoculars up to his face, looking out to the marsh. Through the binoculars, he sees the small silhouette of 2 people waiting in the shallows with shotguns. I just like to use the word binoculars instead of binoculars.
I noticed,
it's fun for me.
The kind of British pronunciation.
Exactly. Billy stands in shallow water. He pops his double-barrel folding shotgun open, and 2 smoking shells jump out. Shy stands in the water past him. Whale Shark's boat approaches in the distance with a rumble. Whale Shark holds a megaphone while standing on the bow of the boat.
This is the State Conservation Officer Hughes. Please place your guns on safe.
Whale Shark is kneeling on the back deck of the boat, near a row of 250 horsepower motors. Billy and Shy are in waist-deep water near the boat. Close-up of Shy and Whale Shark, her expression is utterly stern, if not distasteful. In addition to her hunting shotgun, she has a large revolver in a holster across her chest. Whale Shark, with an amused and surprised expression, says,
That's quite the cannon, young lady. 38 special.
Magnum, 357.
Well, you must have a quarterback's arm hidden under that shirt. Prepare for marshland bear attack. It's a bit cold for gators.
Shy and Billy side by side, Billy side-glancing at her with a smirk on his face and holding out a document, the permits. Shy, ever stern-faced. That's for anything bigger than me. Prepared, not scared. Close-up of duck hunting permits. Whale Shark is handing the documents down to Billy.
Just don't get me in those crosshairs.
The boat cruises away, churning wakes that splashes Shy. Close-up of Shy, low angle, pissed off face, looking down, poking chest out. Thanks for the wet tits, officer. Great Horned Owl is hunched over a body on the ground in the woods. Another kill. He is filthy. The dying man is nude, disemboweled. A shotgun lays among his belongings. Close-up of Great Horned Owl, low angle. His eyes beam like spotlights behind a dirt-covered face. In one hand he holds his huge knife, slick with blood. Snow lightly blankets the scenery and his head and shoulders.
Did you feel like the apex predator when you killed it for sport?
Close-up of a dead bobcat, littered with shotgun pellets. He is face to face with the terrified man, one hand brushing back his hair.
I, too, eat the duck and fish, but for this trespass against the bobcat, you all will suffer me.
He squeezes the man's throat with a crunch. The man's eyes are rolled back. Great Horned Owl stands facing the rising sun. He holds the dead man like a rag doll, and the bobcat is laying across his shoulder.
No more.
Pulled back shot, Billy and Shy are walking along the shore of a small peninsula covered in mossy trees. And then he actually tried to kiss me.
With all of that shit still on your hands, you should have grabbed his cheek.
Close-up of Shy and Billy. She looks off into the distance talking, while Billy laughs, looking at her. Not like it would have mattered. That hillbilly smelled like shit anyway. At this rate, you and Dad will never have to scare a new boyfriend.
You wouldn't need us to do that.
Pathetic. I'll die alone. I don't even care. You have kids, Billy. Because if not, they're never going to have a grandchild. They're both walking out into the water, shotguns over their shoulders. Ducks fly in the distance. I want to fucking kill something. Ducks. They flock across the panel. Close-up of Shy aiming down the barrel of her shotgun with an eagle-eyed expression. Boom. Boom. A trail of birdshot hits a duck, blood and feathers bursting out its back, and another duck is already falling. The ducks crash into the water. Shy is still aiming, admiring her kill. Behind her, Billy looks bewildered with a cigarette dangling from his slack mouth. Way to sleep on the job, Chief. Billy gives her the finger. Great Horned Owl appears in the trees at the shoreline by Billy and Shy. He steps out of the trees onto the beach. He is slightly obscured still by fog.
The duckling slays 2 hens.
Who the fuck you calling a duckling? Billy does a cut-it-out gesture. Great Horned Owl is in the background of the frame as they yell back and forth.
Honey by yourself, mister?
Always by myself.
Who are you?
I am the apex predator of this swamp. The fish, the birds, the pigs. That is my prey.
Great close-up of Great Horned Owl holds out his huge hand and his giant knife.
These are my hunting tools.
Catch anything?
A cat!
Close-up, Shy, suspicious expression. What kind of cat? Pulled back shot, Shy, foreground, Great Horned Owl, background.
A very big cat. Stay ever cautious, ducklings, for you are not on top of the food chain here.
Great Horned Owl turns into the trees, and then his silhouette fades into the trees. Close up on Shy and Billy together, Shy with a nervous face, Billy annoyed. That was fucking weird.
Great Horned Owl? Dude is either an idiot or an actual psycho.
Fucking Yeti weirdo. Billy in a goofy pose with his hands out, doing an impression of Great Horned Owl.
I am the apex predator, little ducks. The great horny owl. I rape small animals and fuck children. Bow before...
Billy in the foreground, water exploding behind him, still in his mocking pose, but glancing back, surprised. Great Horned Owl emerges from the explosion of water. His arm is around Billy's neck, all the way across him and holding Billy's arm up. Billy is helpless. Great Horned Owl is massive, and behind Billy, he is easily twice his size. With his other hand, Great Horned Owl plunges his knife into Billy's armpit. Close up, Billy, whimper sound, slack-jawed, bleeding from the mouth, blank eyes. Shy is screaming, screeching, "What the fuck? Billy!" Billy's still in Great Horned Owl's grasp, but being held by his hair and utterly drenched in blood from the armpit and face. The knife protrudes from his armpit, stuck. He can only muster whimpers. Great Horned Owl, in his other hand, has grabbed Billy's shotgun. Close up on the shotgun. Boom! Shy takes the blast to her arm. Her shirt is ripped to threads, and so is her flesh. Close up on her injury. She grasps it with her hand. Blood pumps all over. Shy falls back into deeper water. Shy
And
attempts to
cut 10 pages.
We don't finish the scene.
No,
Weak.
No, just 10
pages.
Flat, basically. Yeah.
we do 10 pages. But those were good 10 pages. I really liked them.
It was really going somewhere.
It's really going well. I mean, you presented the story, the conflict. I know that this is going to be Great Horned Owl is going to be the bad guy, I feel like. And
he's definitely some bad something.
yeah, and Whale Shark is going to be our protagonist, I feel like. So I feel like that's the conflict, is Great Horned Owl, as I want to say Game Warden, is going to be up against Great Horned Owl as serial killer. Although we don't usually have Game Wardens investigating serial
Shy
killers.
might also be involved.
Yeah. So all right, let's Thomas. Why don't you start us off with positive comments? What do you think?
It's just like you were saying, it's a good way to start with getting into some danger and getting into the stakes right away.
Right.
That's straight up the first thing that comes to mind for me. So, that's that's all I have to say is like it gets right to the the meat and the point of the story and the conflict, and it's pretty much what a script is supposed to be doing, or any good story really.
Yeah. Mecca, what do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I've seen this story a bit before, and it really translates well to comic format. I know we had the 10-page limit, but the very first panel on the next page kind of sets up the title of the story. And oh man, I wish we could have read that, because that sets it up really good.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe we'll get to it next week. But
next week,
good sign.
Yeah, next week.
Good sign.
Hey, look, it's always good when you want to keep going, right? That's the sign
exactly.
that,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, it's always good.
The Billy was the brother of Shy. Tim?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm always a big fan of killing siblings.
Hell yeah.
That's a good way to start any story too.
Yeah, it's good
Not explored
motivation.
enough.
Yeah. And all right, John, what do you think?
I really liked it, and if you're going to have an extremely conventional story pattern, I think it's great to nail it, and I think this one really does. And you come to the 10-page mark, and it set it up for its its turn, like they were saying, page 11 is the payoff. I think that's really good. Proper horror comic. I can see different art styles too. That's another sign that the writing's good. You can really, see how that would be drawn. Lovely, very good. Artist's eye, I think. The artist's eyes come through. It's good, really good.
Let's see. And well, Tim, these are your pages. Crypto.
I am Crypto. Okay, so it's difficult because I didn't get to read this ahead of time. So just trying to read it aloud without having even read it, really took my full attention, and it took attention away from any positive comments I could give you. What I would suggest is I do think that you can tighten this up. Without having the script, for me to look through, it's hard for me to tell you exactly where. I do think you could probably get that first scene from the 11 pages we had to look at to, probably 7 pages. And I would think that would be in the earlier part, prior to Owl showing up to kill everyone. I think you could tighten that up, have more dialogue in a single panel, and slowly eliminate panels that way. I think you could also make it a little clearer they were brother and sister. Maybe I just missed that because I was focused on my performance rather than on retaining what I was reading. Those would be my comments.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Sounds like you're taking notes, Tim.
I am
does.
taking notes.
All right. For me,
It's good to take notes.
I felt like the story was paced fine. I don't think we really need to cut a ton. Now on some of these pages, I feel like you have too many panels. And on one page you have like 9 panels. On page 7 you have 9 panels, and that's going to make those panels kind of small. And sometimes, you know, like, all right, we got. Hold on, let me pull this up so we can show it.
Yeah, it's possible you can either get rid of a couple panels on a page or space out to make actually longer, split it into like another page, basically.
Yeah. So let's look at these panels here on page 7. All right. So panel 1, we got a pulled back shot of Billy and Shia walking along a small peninsula covered in mossy trees. So I feel like that panel's going to need a fair amount of real estate because we're going to need to see, you know, figures in some amount of detail plus the background. All right. And then panel 2, all right, we got a close-up, but it's still a close-up on 2 people. We're not like closing in on a face. So we're going to need some space there. Shia and Billy. And then panel 3, all right, they're both walking out in the water, shotguns over their shoulder, ducks fly in the distance. So, again, we're going to need a fair amount of space here on page 3. And then page 4, we got a flock of ducks. I mean, you know, you can show a flock of ducks fairly, you know, and not too much real estate. Panel 5, close up on Shia aiming down the barrel of a shotgun with an eagle-eyed expression. And then panel 6, we got boom, boom, a trail of birdshot hits a duck, blood and feathers bursting out of its back, and another duck is already falling. Now, my question would be here, do you see the gun on panel 6, or are we just seeing a duck and violence is being visited on the duck? I guess I'm just going to take it as written. So we're seeing a duck, a dying duck with some booms just added by the letterer. And then panel 7, a duck crashing into the water. You can do that kind of succinctly. But then panel 8, Shia is still aiming, admiring her kill. Behind her, Billy looks bewildered with cigarettes. So you still got 2 figures in panel 8. And then panel 9, Billy gives her the finger. So you're going to need the face and the hand and probably the body. So you see how like panel 9 is going to need some space. Panel 8 is going to need some space. As are panels 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So you have 5 panels out of 9 that need a fair amount of space. And you got 9 panels on this page.
That's a shitload of panels.
That's a shitload of panels.
When you have panels that are unnecessary, the duck falling into the water really isn't necessary. We already know the duck is dead.
Yeah, you assume automatically that will be falling into the water, unless if like it fell into a portal to another dimension, then you would have to show that on a panel. But otherwise, you can just assume.
Well, I think he showed the duck dying because this great horned owl character is. That's why he decided to hunt people.
MK Geiger, you know what? This is a good comment here from the Peanut Gallery. This would be a good 2-page spread. You know, if you did a 2-page spread here, then you could have all 9 panels.
Oh, very easily, with lots of extra space to breathe and show the detail.
With some like bullet marks on the page.
Now, I'm an amateur here. Can you guys explain to me what a 2-page spread is?
How's
that different from just 2 different pages?
All right, that means you have the artwork laid out over 2 pages. Like the artwork.
Yeah, like a panel in the middle could bleed over onto both pages at the same time.
You know what a splash page is, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine a splash page that takes up 2 pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward, so that's good. There's one thing about having something that may be seen as a superfluous panel is sometimes to you, the writer, you want to have it in there anyway. So it is up to you to decide, but other people are like, well, do we need to see this specific part? And sometimes, if you're the writer, you have to say, I want people to be able to see that the duck hits the water specifically. And again, that's completely up to the writer to sort of figure out on their own. But I have had it where it's like, I wrote too many panels, and I was like, I can just cut this. I can just erase this panel entirely. It doesn't like advance anything necessarily.
Okay, so let me give you a good example here. Let me flash some artwork real quick.
I'm no stranger to trimming stuff, so I don't have a problem doing that.
Yeah, I mean it's just a completely natural event in writing. Is like a sentence, a paragraph, a chapter sometimes.
I think one of the greatest quotes I ever heard when learning to be a writer is, "If it doesn't bleed, you should probably cut it."
Yeah.
So
this is my first time ever doing a comic script, so I'm trying to just learn as much from you guys. So
we have this comic book, and in the bottom. Sorry,
do you want to share your screen over there, or
is it not sharing? Oh, okay,
I can. Which one? Who's talking?
Crypto.
Okay.
I click
All
share.
right, go ahead.
It should be-
And so far, it is not sharing. Just FYI,
This isn't showing.
it is not.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's
Well,
just focusing on you for now.
typical.
It should be able to show all of us and the screen share when that pops up, though.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
You see that?
Nope.
No, not yet.
Of course, typical. Okay.
Yeah, one thing about
Tiger counter going off.
I think that's a mouse. It sounds like a mouse clicking. The one thing about screen share on this is it depends on if you're using Firefox or Chrome. Chrome will let you select a specific like a window or an app, whereas Firefox just kind of lets you only share an entire monitor, basically. Or it does in a different way anyways. But
Okay, there you go. You could probably see this now. Let me just find the page I was
Can
talking
you?
about. Maybe? Maybe not.
Maybe.
Tell me. I think so.
well, I mean, I think the host has to be able to see what's attempting to be shared or something.
Do I? I don't see it. Oh wait, here we go. Oh, here we go. Add to screen. Okay, there it is. All right.
There we go.
So I purposely wrote this so that you would see the berries that so this little boy is like. This little boy's collecting these berries, right? Pretty simple story. You don't need any words to tell this story. And he's got his berries, obviously in his shirt there. You can see him again there.
I think the comments blocking a bit of the panels.
A little bit, although I can still basically see it. Well, all right, there we go.
And
yeah,
then,
you can see them falling.
Yeah, you see him falling, and really it's not important, but what we did later...
Whoa. Great.
Wait. Oh, great. Maybe I don't have that
It's in
page.
the same
yet,
folder.
but
Yeah, it's all.
anyway, there's another page where a character gets his eye torn out, and it's exactly a reflection of this panel with an eye falling toward the ground. And so that's specifically why I chose to keep that panel in. Whereas if the eye wasn't falling to the ground later on, there'd be no reason at all to share this panel other than it conveys, the sense of terror that's just happened here. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. So you might want to think about that. If the panel doesn't help you tell the story, what does the panel do other than waste an artist's time?
Sort of like in prose, if there's a sentence that isn't advancing the story, if it really doesn't have a purpose, they always say just cut that, or either a sentence or a word or whatever you can cut.
If it's not propelling your plot or it's not informing us to the character more, just cut it.
It really depends on the writer, because the thing is, I've seen that happen. Like that said, hey, you can cut this, but and it is up to the writer to say, yeah, I don't need this. But if there is something about it that you as the writer really absolutely feels it needs to stay because you love it for any reason, I would say keep it then in that case. But that's,
and I would disagree with that. I would say kill your darlings.
All right, hold on.
Well, you do have to kill your darlings, but at the same time, it is up to the writer to have an understanding of if there's an actual need.
Okay.
But yeah, it is true.
I'm showing a 2-page spread here. This is from Guinevere and the Divinity Factory issue 2. All right, so this would be the leftmost page here. You see, so we got Guinevere, and she's in a job interview. But little does he know that she is a wizard. So as he thinks he's interviewing for a job, and she's going to do some mind mojo on him. But you see, this panel here is actually from the next page. Yeah. So when we come down here, see, these 2 pages are designed to go together. And so this panel here bleeds over into the left page. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's part of the it's part of a 2-page spread that in a way is 2 pages also. But that effect sort of creates a continuity, across like a double page there. One of those comic book tricks.
Exactly. And we see here on the top page, see, he thinks he's interviewing her, and then she puts him under her spell, and then now she's kind of rocking back in the thing, and she's got her thing out.
The boss.
Yeah,
she's whammy on him.
Exactly. She got the mind mojo going. So, all right. All right. Any other notes? Any questions?
Tim, what do you have?
I guess in terms of panels and illustration, it's also like if you look at the classic 1970s Man-Thing, some of the issues were more illustrations to be read at a slower pace, and they had splash pages and few panels per page showing the swamp with an almost fantasy art aesthetic, drawing all sort of overgrown vegetation. Other times when they just wanted to do a morality tale, more panels per page, ripping through it quicker, getting to a 2-panel page or a splash page with big payoff with the preachy moral, or the full page of the Man-Thing killing somebody. So I think that's another stylistic decision to make about the serial killer's kills. Is he going to get half a page or a page per kill kind of thing? So that should determine how many panels per page, because we want to build up the energy and the speed, the reading speed towards a kill. Like, you want to build tension, or do you just want to have it be like a relentless, like a metronome ticking mostly the same number of panels per page, and then break it out into irregular panels to change the emotion that way?
Well, the story initially didn't have the it didn't initially start with any murder, and it didn't initially show Great Horned Owl up to his own devices killing somebody in the woods. That came in later, but when I had workshopped this as a film screenplay, the general consensus was that we don't know where this is going. We don't even know that the genre is horror. So just give the audience a glimpse of Great Horned Owl and him up to his own devices. You know what kind of story you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when something's going to happen. And if things like that don't happen, you know, for example, when he kills Billy, I had to trim quite a bit even to get that into that first 10 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had never seen,
you want to be as well, really, because it depends on depends how subversive you want to be. Like, what sort of horror? Like Dusk to Dawn starts off as a caper film, an R-rated caper film. So that has to spend enough time to fully sell the caper. It can't turn into supernatural horror very quickly at all, because otherwise it loses any impact. So it's the same with this. Do you want them to get blueballed, or do you want it to be more like a slasher type thing where you get the immediate gratification? So yeah.
The little girl that lost her brother, she doesn't like develop superpowers or anything, does she?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I was guessing she wouldn't. It doesn't seem like it was that kind of story. It's one thing is that when you can, it's kind of a good thing when you can tell, like, right up front the tone overall, and it's not going to be like, no, this was a comedy all along. You don't want that.
Never good. All right.
That can be a good thing, but you know, sometimes I prefer when it's not.
It's just nice to read something that isn't like a straight up superhero nonsense.
Right.
Superhero comics, bah.
Okay.
Saturated.
Yeah, it's a bit overdone.
Just a little bit.
Speaking of, Thomas, do you have some superhero pages for us tonight?
Oh yeah, I got a big superhero comic. Let's see, I posted it in the channel.
Yeah, you posted like a bunch of stuff in the channel.
Yeah,
which one was
not sure which one, because the first one I posted, Through a Pizza Place Darkly. That one's kind of funny. I read it already on my channel, but I mean that doesn't mean that we can't reread it here.
Okay.
And I would say maybe we should just start with that.
Okay, then let's start with that.
And then I got so many others as the backup. Now the question is, who should read what? Because I don't actually like reading or narrating myself.
Okay, well, we got a bunch of people here.
That is right.
You got it. I'll do it. Whatever you want.
Yeah, Crypto, you did the narration for the previous one, right?
I think he did.
I did.
Where's the script?
I did.
The script it's in the channel. You have to scroll up though. Through a Pizza Place Darkly .docx. It's pretty elite. You have to scroll up like a few pages though,
Gotcha.
but I mean it's not too far up there. I posted it at like 7:33. And it's Through a Pizza Place Darkly, and then I posted like 3 others, and you could just ignore those for now. We can read those some other time. But yeah, I guess if you could narrate, and then there's a lot of these captions doesn't actually point out that the narration captions are the same main character, Roy. So, you know what, Preston, if you could read Roy.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want this to be a liability or anything.
No problem.
It doesn't get that intense, I suppose.
So I'm reading Roy and the captions.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's the same thing. I should designate that, but whatever.
All
right.
Yeah. Why would it be a liability?
Yeah. Well, the liability is what the character ends up saying about the white race. But, you know, it doesn't
That sounds wonderful. I can't wait. Okay.
Mecca, are you able to read, you know, I'm not even sure if she shows up. Let's see.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
No, the girl character again?
Really, there's a character named Really. You can be her. And
Like this, or like a little higher?
Yes, that is perfect.
Okay.
Oh, crap. You know what? And Tim, would you be able to do some of this?
Of course.
Just any of the other characters. There's a couple of other characters that show up, and if you could just read all of them.
I would love to do that.
All right.
Let me make a quick list of. Can you give me the names of any character that I'm going to be reading so I can make sure I don't stumble on them?
Hillary Clinton and John Podesta.
There you go.
What was mine again?
Really?
My name's
Really?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary, yeah. You don't have to do any voices, but if you want to. A lot of narration. Let's see. Yeah, I think that should be everything. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, were you gonna be able to screen share? Now you can. It is on the screen.
It is. There we go.
All right.
See,
And I am not going to do anything. I'm just gonna sit here.
All right.
We're gonna need a little Control Plus.
Yeah, I'm trying to do Control Plus, but it doesn't. It's not like letting me.
Oh no! Go into the lower right. The lower right has like a plus.
Oh, you're right. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, you just click on that a couple times.
And then also get rid of MK Geiger's.
Yeah, if you clear the comment off the screen too. So
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but
Goodbye, Mr. Geiger.
It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal.
It's personal for me. You get out of here.
Okay. Bring it up. Make it a little bit larger, like one. I don't know what it. I can't even remember. It's at one.
Yeah, one more tick bigger.
One more tick.
140%.
Think. How's that?
Yeah.
There we go. How's that?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. All right. Through a Pizza Place Darkly, written by Randall, a.k.a. Thomas, 2018 second draft, page 1, panel 1, exterior, view from above. Nice big establishing shot, the storefront of a Meteor Pizza Place. A glowing sign above the door saying so with some kind of pizza appearing meteor as the logo. In front of the door is a sinister-looking man. As we see him from behind, wearing casual clothing, t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers, but also a bulletproof vest that covers his chest and back. In front, he is holding an AR-15, the dreaded assault rifle, and his belt has magazines attached to it. This is Roy Shagif, a great hero with a great hero's name, not quite Carter Granholm, but you can't have everything. Caption: they've been kidnapping children and bringing them here for their degenerate abuse. Caption: they can't keep getting away. Oh, wait. I'm not the narrator.
Yeah, who's the captioner?
I'm the captioner. I'm going to finish reading my captions, then I'm going to shut the hell up.
Oh.
They can't keep getting away with it. Caption: they laugh at our traditions, our laws, our society. And then Crypto's supposed to read it. Panel 2.
From the front, but without seeing Roy's face, we see him raise a totally tactical modern AR-15 in his hands. It's got the reflex sight, like he unlocked it from Call of Duty, and Picatinny rails with a flashlight and laser sight combo module on one side of the barrel, a forward grip on the front of the underneath of the barrel. The end of the barrel itself has a compensator. There's no stock on the rifle yet. But they're not going to laugh
anymore. And I read the captions. Right.
Oh, you do? Okay, I get confused.
Don't go steal my thunder. All right, go ahead.
Oh, does that mean Roy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the captions are Roy.
The captions
Close up. Roy slaps a magazine into the AR-15's magwell. The sound effects should be blocky, perhaps gunmetal gray in color. Shock! Still a close-up, like the rest of these panels. Roy pulls back on the charge handle, above the stock of the AR-15, or where the stock would be. Shlee, Jax. He slaps his palm against the bolt release button on the side of the rifle, making it fire on accident because you're not supposed to do that if there's already a shot chambered, but by the charge handle. Apparently, not likely. Not like I really know. Okay, sorry. Chook. Blam.
Oops.
Roy pulls the forward grip back, making it slide backwards and then forward again, even though this isn't possible and wouldn't do anything. Chook-keek. Roy suddenly slaps a bump stock onto the back of the rifle, making it attach automatically somehow. The bump stock actually says bump stock on it, as if it's stamped into the metal itself, perhaps along the top like a brand label. Flack. Roy's thumb on the side of the rifle, near the trigger, sliding the selector switch between 3 options. The first option says automatic. The second option says illegal mode. The third option says assault. He's switching it to assault. Clack. Close up on Roy's forehead as he's tying and tightening on a green headband. There's an infinity sign on the front of the headband. The sound effect should be cloth-like in appearance, perhaps. Flirn. We finally see Roy in earnest. He's a pure, perfect Aryan with pure Aryan skull shape, impossibly chiseled face and square jaw and high cheekbones, like Lucifer himself, the most beautiful and probably secretly cool, edgy of all angels. He looks so perfect that he looks stylistically out of place, like those Super Mario World comics in Nintendo Power where Mario suddenly gets dramatic and his face becomes super detailed and realistic for just one panel out of nowhere. Roy smirks and points a thumb to his headband as he looks at the reader. A caption points directly at the word balloon.
Heh, infinite ammo. Genius writing.
Interior of Meteor Pizza, as Roy kicks the front door in, which blows off the hinges and slides along the floor. The restaurant is dark inside, though, as it's closed. Depending on how well we see Roy from the front here, the front of his ballistic vest is painted with a white skull like the Punisher, but it's actually not a skull. It's a cute anime girl's face, as she's pouting unhappily, spray-painted onto the vest by stencil. Roy points his rifle around as he aims, sweeping the room and checking his corners, or whatever, being very official and tactical.
No one's here. Maybe their deep state spy network knew I would be coming.
Roy, looking at a sign on the wall that says enjoy our cheese pizza, the C and P are somewhat larger and more distinct, perhaps in a more scary font as well, and perhaps more sinister color.
Cheese pizza. Starts with the same letter as child porn. That's not a coincidence. Now I truly know I'm in the right place for my genocide crusade.
An employee doorway in the back, which is open to a flight of stairs downward and has red light emanating from deep within. Roy is peeking his way into the doorway and pointing his rifle in as he takes the first step down the stairs. Exterior. The bottom of the stairs opens to a giant underground cavern glowing red. It must be a mile deep and several miles wide, a river of lava in the background. Roy is looking around, his rifle raised as he exits the stairwell into this huge area. In the distance, perhaps we can also see small groups of monsters, demons, people, something. Perhaps small office rooms and groups of cubicles set around with a front desk staffed by a receptionist, an evil receptionist. A few employees wearing employee shirts with badges on their chests are looking over, alerted. Perhaps looking at the reader, but they're seeing Roy. They look like humans, but perhaps a bit sickly. Roy looks shocked as he's caught. The employees again, but suddenly their jaws unhinge and pop open like Reapers or Reavers or whatever from Blade 2. Screedly scree! Roy's shocked face. He raises his rifle up.
They're freaking interdimensional demons.
Roy blasts the rifle at the demons. I want to read it like Alex Jones would read it. We traveled to Austin, Texas to uncover what was really going on with these demons in this kitty porn palace. Roy blasts the rifle at the demons, making them chunk to shit, their bodies blowing apart. From elsewhere in the demonic cavern, other demons spot up, rushing toward him from a distance. Perhaps Roy's in the background with the demon pizza employees in the foreground as they run to him. A demon throws a spike trap that skids along the ground towards Roy's feet. Roy does a contra jump into the air, his body turning into a perfectly round, adorable ball, with gunfire emanating from within the sphere, even though his rifle is nowhere to be seen. The gunfire is blasting more demons into salsa as well. The spike trap skids underneath where he would have been standing. When Roy lands, he does a sort of crouch badass superhero kind of landing with the magazine ejecting out of the rifle as he's already putting another magazine from his belt to load it. Perhaps a distance profile shot of Roy running as he explores the glowing red caverns. Ahead of him are a set of simple cages. Most are empty or have bones inside, except for one which has a small Samoan girl, dark-skinned. Her name is Reilly. Perhaps if we see Roy, he looks alerted to this, but either way, his attention will be drawn to this cage. Roy crouches by the cage where the girl's kept, and he's pulling the lockpick out of his pocket. The girl's dressed in tattered rags, has brown skin, very Asian eyes, so much that perhaps her eyes are closed entirely. Perhaps she has dental floss over her eyes to blindfold her.
Don't worry, I'll get you out of there. Really?
I can sense a good person is here, but I cannot see. They've blind molded me with dental floss because I'm Asian.
Roy inside the open cage door. As he uses a giant Rambo knife to cut the dental floss from over her eyes, he's pulling the dental floss away. Reilly is beginning to stand to her feet.
Oh, thank you so much, kind sir. You surely are the penultimate supreme gentleman. The rest of the children, the monsters did things to them, but not only their bodies, their spirits.
You'll be safe now, but let's try to keep quiet. We still got to escape, and I think I hear a few of them coming.
Roy and Reilly take cover in a more enclosed cavern, which has large computer structures built into the wall. Some of the walls seem to be partially embedded in the cave stone.
Some of them are in this chamber. Let's try to sneak past.
Inside the chamber, in a room surrounded by demon computers. At a central desk in the chamber sits Hillary Clinton, or some sort of approximation of her. She growls to some impish slave demon, as she has a large, empty, blood-streaked plate in front of her, and a golden goblet that she holds up toward the slave demon. John Podesta, a demon version of him anyway, is approaching to give her bad news.
More blood! One of the adorable tender morsels has somehow escaped. What are you asking me, my lord?
Close up on Hillary. Her teeth are giant, sharp spikes jutting out randomly. Some jutting outwards, some inwards, back into her mouth. Just a giant mess of frightening blades. Her eye sockets are hollow pits, empty except for a faint red light glowing from deep within them.
Destroy the child, corrupt them all!
Roy and Reilly, from the other side of the wall, peer through a crack in it where light streams through.
That one! She is the leader!
We better get going. They know you're gone.
Of course, brave hero.
Roy and Reilly, walking through the caverns.
I don't understand, though. If you're not one of them, how did you end up here? Who are you?
I'm Roy Shagif. I was a Fitch steamer. I played video games for a living. My gamer name was PyDepew. I was a hero of Killer Blast 6, Future Guns, but when I heard that child-molesting Democrats had a hideout in my own city, I decided to become a hero in real life instead.
He looks downward at her as they're crouched behind rocks.
What about you? What's your name?
Really?
They're still crouched down behind rocks.
Yes, I want to know.
No, I mean, that's my name. Really?
Roy suddenly looks cartoony, eyes rolled in an OU face as he with his hands on his hips, perhaps pastel coloring. Reilly has a sort of smug, mischievous grin on her face, with her hand suddenly a cat paw to her chin.
Oh, you wacky non-whites and your different cultures.
They wander through caves again, ducking under a rock alcove in the ground, as a swarm of demon employees charge through trying to search. This reminds me of when I broke into Bohemia Grove.
I am glad that a handsome Nordic man like you rescued me, instead of a nerdy incel beta cuck manlet.
Someone like that would never have the will to possess that, or the will to power that I possess. They don't rescue anyone or do anything, ever.
All of a sudden, a big fat guy with a dick nose walks in and says, this isn't TNJ's.
Yeah.
He went
Really
way
looks
out
up
of
to
the
Roy
way
with
behind
respect
him.
as they keep going through caves.
Even though we have only known each other for 7 minutes, and I'm only 10 years old, I believe I've become quite smitten with you. When we escape, will you marry me?
It's natural for you to feel that way just by being around me, but I must apologize. We cannot be together, as having children with you would sully my pure, perfect white bloodline. And diversity is a wonderful gift this world contains, but in order for it to exist, the races must be kept separate and unblended. Otherwise, there will be no differences between our peoples.
Really, with her hand to her chin, thoughtfully.
Yes, maybe you are right, fair sir. The beautiful pureness of the white race must be unsullied by my mongrel blood. I apologize for my insensitive and impertinent request.
Suddenly, George Soros's giant, wrinkly, sagging, liver-spotted ancient head, as big as a mobile home, bursts right out of the crusty ground in front of both of them. He's so sagging that even his eyelids are sagging off of his eyeballs. It's pretty grody. Roy and Rayleigh are dwarfed in comparison, standing out front, sort of like the Cybernator picture where RoboCop and Terminator are standing in front all wild out. Roy's rifle whipped out to the side as if taken by surprise and not yet aimed or prepared to fire.
Who's George Soros?
Who voices
Thomas can read his own character.
Go ahead, George.
I could do that. Rape kids.
Holy fucking matzo balls. All right, that's this 10 pages.
That's it.
Holy
That's
shit.
10.
There we go.
I wanted to present something serious, but instead I did this.
So that was that was pretty intense.
A tour de force, if you will.
Who wants to start us off? Tim, what do you think?
Man, I never heard nothing like that before.
I get that a lot.
I had a hard time visualizing any of it as comic. Well, some of it I could visualize as comic book panels, but I was able to visualize it a lot better as an extremely stylistic cartoon, possibly even as far as Kill la Kill.
Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty decent comparison, I think, because it would fit that weird style, or like a Aeon Flux, where everything's like sort of hyper perspectivized or something.
Hyper perspective was what I was picturing a lot.
Yeah.
But also a lot of the kind of funny description that you're trying to give to the artist.
Yeah, it doesn't really serve much purpose, does it?
Not to the artist, but it might be entertaining if it was narrated in an animation. But I guess that doesn't really help you in this situation because you're not
No.
animation.
When I write like a funny comic, I tend to add details that will never ever see the light of day in a finished comic, and I think that's I like to say it's my process, but I don't know. I don't think there is any justification for it.
Fair enough.
John.
Well, before the Magnificent Seven thing that Mike S. Miller has just released, I would definitely agree that this is more of your underground comic or very stylized cartoon. But in a world where people are actually crowdfunding stuff like that, this is actually now just sort of normal cutting-edge crowdfunding comic.
What kind of a crazy world where you come in where these pages are normal? All right.
Well, yeah, because
You're
it's
normal,
got
guys. I'm normal, you guys.
mainstream. I think the detailed descriptions. It depends who you get to draw it, really. I think some artists, like if you got an artist whose style wouldn't lend itself to cartoons to draw this, you might get a really interesting outcome with the detailed descriptions because they'd probably go away and research it all, and you'd get something that would look like a realistic and very cool and sexy action comic until you look at the details and you sort of think, fucking hell, is that really what I'm just looking at? Like some of the America's Best comics Alan Moore did, they were edging into this territory in some of the panels. Not this rough, not this blue, but definitely with extra descriptions, depending on the artist, you might get a big payoff.
Mm-hmm.
Depends how closely you work with your artist, I think, for this sort of thing. Do you ever intend to really release this, though, or is this
I would like to, but it's sort of a way on the back burner kind of thing. Like if I finished most of the other serious, well, maybe not finished, but like the whole thing is only 16 or 17 pages total, anyways. But
See, fresh as fuck. So to me, instead of like the Paladin one or whatever, this is something which is raw enough to engage people. This
It might make a good
be a better one to do.
It might also make a good comic to like throw into a collection. Like if I did a bunch of short comics, this would be one that would be maybe in the middle.
But let's not forget Mike S. Miller has just done a cleaned up, lame version of this. So, like, it's no longer 4chan tier comics. It's actually in this strange radicalized political setting that we now all live in. It's actually...
Yeah, I was kind of going for that 4chan-ish sense of, not specifically 4chan,
No, yeah.
But yeah, that kind of idea of something that's like completely off the wall.
I can't believe somebody's just fucking said that kind of stuff, whereas now the window's moved enough, so yeah, don't want to be too po-faced about it, but yeah, you could actually do this as a comic now. I mean, we got Mike Miller drawing George Soros with that weird astronaut-style pipe coming out of his crotch, and
it's out of his belly button.
Right.
Well, that's okay. But I mean, it's.
I saw the original version before he moved it. There was a whole little.
Maybe I should get Mike Miller to draw this.
Well, you could. He's quick.
Yeah.
Don't get another guy. No, it'll take 4 years.
I wouldn't pay him more than like $20 a page, though.
Well, naturally.
Mecha McCheese, have you gone yet?
He is here
with my comments.
Yes.
No.
What did you like about this?
If anything.
if you don't like anything, then just say pass, and we'll just move on to the next one.
No, it was fun.
All right.
You know, I remember 2016 very well. I remember when a lot of the big 4chan leaks happened, and a lot of these references, like I got them immediately.
Yeah, there's a lot of very weird ones that. I mean, not just Carter Granholm. That's a pretty obscure reference, but the Hillary yelling more blood and corrupt the child, destroy them all.
Are you talking about spirit cooking?
Yeah, the spirit cooking stuff.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
The freaking interdimensional demons. That was one I noticed Crypto really picked up on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw it kind of as like a Scott Pilgrim kind of thing.
You know what? I think that style would actually fit very well as well because it's very video gamey.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
I should get Brian Lee O'Malley to draw this. Actually,
Leonardo da Vinci, I'd say.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe if we can dig him up, something like that.
Clone him.
Yeah.
Tim.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Positive comments,
if any.
Did I not have any positive comments? Well, I guess.
Didn't you go already?
Oh, did he go already? All right, and all right. I guess everyone's gone except me. I liked it. It was funny. It was definitely engaging. And you have more fan. Look, this is some good material here. I think this has real potential. Yes, this is pretty solid.
The comments, people in the comments.
Yeah.
Also, I like the one that says Crypto's really good with the voice.
So that was good. Now moving into constructive. I worry this is going to become dated pretty quickly.
It kind of already is.
It already kind of is. But also, like I feel like you're not confident enough in your writing. Like you keep going, perhaps. Like, dude, you're the writer. You decide what the hell we're gonna see. Stop going. Well, gee, artist, maybe you could draw this, or maybe you could draw a woman with big boobs. I mean, like tell the artist what to freaking draw, right? Like, is there enough light to see the anime skull on his body armor, or is it not? Like in each panel, you're going like, well, perhaps we're gonna see this. Like, tell us what the hell we're gonna see,
Yeah, that's true, and that's something I sort of do less, I guess, these days.
Right.
A couple of years ago, I was more like, well, what if the artist wants to draw it from a different angle?
Screw the artist. They can't write. They can barely draw.
I need to crack the whip on the art slave.
Exactly.
Do what I say, piece of shit.
I mean, look, when you let artists start to think they can write, you end up with Cyberfrog. Okay, you don't want that.
Yeah, I've had that. I have had well, not that specifically, but I have had artists working with me on comics where they've had input, and I mean, sometimes it's been a good thing, but usually Like it leads to me saying just draw what I wrote in the script.
Yeah.
I have had artists, like, I tell them just draw it as it is in the script, and then they still don't. And it's like there's this entire panel you left out. And it's like, but I had to do this. And it's like this panel is in there for a reason. It actually is important to me. But I mean, in the past, I've just let that go. And these days I'm saying, now that, I've gotten some actual stuff finished, I'm going to stop letting things go as much.
Okay. John, do you have any constructive comments?
I think John left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually has to come back in.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Hold on. John, welcome back. Do you have any constructive comments for us?
I was one of the writers on a university paper which featured people with asses for faces. They were basically buttocks with arms and legs. And because it was a university paper, it was, what you'd expect. And you've got to not self-censor. So the stuff in here, I think, like Preston said, you've got to be very confident about. And there's no such thing as going too far when you go blue. You just got to do it. So I think it was okay. It's right in the middle for the kind of thing that it is. If anything, if you're going to do it, you need to double down on this one. Really, really do it. Because I read further, the chanology stuff like the anti-Semitism and the anti-race mixing, I personally don't have a problem with anything like that. I don't think there's any real censorship required for any form of humour or even not humour. But I think if you're going to do it, it's like they say in the army about telling a blue joke in mess. If you're going to do it properly. Like, follow through, stick the landing. There's no such thing as going too far. You've got to really go for it. So if anything, just put a double helping of all of that stuff in.
Yeah, it's almost too light as it is.
Well, you back off pretty quickly to each thing, and I don't necessarily think you should.
Well, because I only intended this to be a really tiny comic.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's 16 pages flat.
Like, we went through the number of panels per page for a serious comic. It's actually an issue for comedy too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I had too many in some of the pages or not, but I think it's spaced out relatively well. But it might also depend.
If anything, like, I would suggest that you work on expanding pages. And look, this is comics. You can add splash pages and 2-page spreads and stuff. Like really comedic, funny splash pages. That help ramp stuff up, and then you'll end up with like a 23-page comic book. I think it's more traditional size.
People probably won't care because the thing is, in a comedy book, they'll probably want to look at splat pages more.
Yeah, or just add a bunch of filler and even some pages completely blank, and make it 47 pages. Charge $25 for it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like
not blank, but like in black, and just
in black.
Chapter every couple of pages, I'll just put chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 8, chapter 18.
Crypto, any constructives?
No, I don't.
Tim, any constructives?
Didn't he say again? Oh wait.
I went first.
But yes, but I think he did. I try to break up the positive and the negatives. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But, all right. If you don't have anything.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So that went pretty well. We did 2 scripts in an hour. Look at us.
Yeah, an hour's flat. It's actually like one of the fastest episodes.
Yeah, we're picking up speed. That's where.
Did I see some comment from Tim? You're gonna try to publish this now? Your horned owl thing?
Is one.
I mean, I'm just kind of joking about it, but it would be cool. I wouldn't know where to start. You said charge my $20 a page. I know that's a damn joke, but how much would it really cost to get just even a slightly competent artist to draw that?
How many pages is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get it. You could probably get a fairly mediocre artist to do like $80 a page, and that's pencil, ink, and color, like 80 to 100 for pencil, ink, and color. And so
otherwise it would be like 100 for pencils, and then maybe like 50 for the rest if you get that for really cheap. But not
so and so like 150 would represent kind of like somewhat above that. I mean, we're still not like professional level yet, but you know, a decent looking work. So you know, like figure $150 a page will be your working budget. Unless you want to like double that and go for like top level stuff. So.
Or half it and draw it myself.
Or half it and draw it yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is always an option.
I recommend Mior Munier. He'll draw anything. He's a degenerate.
Yeah.
And he works cheaply.
All right. Okay. Well.
I mean, I won Drawn and Quartered a couple weeks ago.
Neat, congratulations! Yeah, I mean,
if you can do that, you should be able to.
Yeah, then you can crank it out yourself. Exactly.
Yeah, no reason to hire any artist if you can, you know, get if you can draw at all. I would say, even if you weren't good, I would say, you know, try and draw an entire comic book yourself. You'll usually end up getting better at it by the end of a single book.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I feel like my style, from page 1 to page 10. Page 1 would look like shit compared to page 10.
Yeah, although a lot of artists sort of handicap themselves by starting over once they get to that page 10 point. And at some point, you just have to kind of let it go and just continue. But sometimes it can be good to start over just for the first few pages because you want to show your best stuff up front, too.
Right.
Isn't that what the vestry guy did? Was he the one who did that?
I'm not sure.
Yakub guy, is that vestry? Because I remember he was putting up pencils that he'd done years ago, and then he'd redone them. I think that was almost literally at page 10 or 12. He stopped and gone back to the beginning again, kind of thing. So
as long as you don't keep doing that over and over again, because I've seen artists do that where it's like, I need to start over again, and then all of a sudden they're not making their comic anymore.
That's right. But I think he hit a skill level and then looked at his first 10 pages and just thought, yeah, nah. And so he brought the first 10 pages up to a higher standard. So I thought that was actually quite a gutsy thing to do, really, especially in public.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
next,
Tim, don't go bragging that you won Written and Quartered now.
That's right. So next week, I guess I will be presenting. Does anyone else have any pages they want to present for next week? Anyone want to make that commitment in front of everybody?
I mean, if they can comment and like contact you too, they could come in because it's, you know, anyone who takes writing seriously as comics. I'll definitely have something next week also.
Okay. Yeah, you threw 3 scripts out there, so
yeah,
we only went through one of them. All right.
Do you ever appeal to the young writers out there watching, wondering?
Sure. I mean, we had one exact change.
And fledgling writers, I would say this is the perfect place.
Point Man Comics couldn't come because he's working.
Okay.
But, if we move the street day, he'll definitely do it.
All right. Well, let me know what day we would need to move it to for him. I did ask. I said, well, what day should it be?
Yeah.
I never heard an answer.
That's something that can be worked on, though, at least.
Yeah. But for the time being, I'm going to assume that we're going to go next Wednesday, same time. But, if there is a change, I will let everybody know.
Wednesdays are a good day for this, too.
Yeah, generally. All right, so next Wednesday will be Thomas and myself again. Other than that, I think that's about it. All right.
Yeah, that should do it.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to go work on Last Week in Comicsgate. I got to get that out.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
It was I thought it was going to be a call of the week for a change, and it wasn't.
Oh, my God. So much shit. Anyway.
I want to say thanks to all you guys doing the reading on my script and doing the voices and all that. It was fun. That was fun to hear.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Same.
All right.
Crypto, you got a gift at narration.
Yeah, no, and hey, Crypto, thanks for
narration.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in. It was really nice having you. Are you going to come back next week?
I will. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Wednesdays are so for me. I think I can make it I wish it wasn't on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but
Okay.
you know,
It's possible we could change these to like a Tuesday.
I would be here all the time on a Tuesday, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want, we can start doing them Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you guys should also modify your rule so that
Okay.
it's 10 pages or the end of the scene we're on at 10 pages.
Oh yeah.
So like
I
if somebody
worry about
goes
that
to
shit.
12, then well,
All right. Every now and then we can sneak in an extra page.
I think
I'm
it would
fine with
work.
mine just being 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it at 10, man. Keep it at 10.
Right.
I think it can be
It's not much
conditional. If it really depends, it can be conditional. I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes. It's conditional. Like if the writer comes out and says, "All right, look, I just really, really got to get to the 11th page." Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Or
fine.
just 12 for 12 and that's it. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could do that.
But I mean, yeah.
Alrighty.
But I don't want 12 to start being the norm because writers,
Yeah,
they tend to come in and it's usual for writers to come in and have a lot to present,
Mm-hmm.
and like they want it all, and writers
yeah.
have this. There's always this thing with writers where like they just want to share like the whole thing, and
Yeah.
part of the discipline of writing is you only have so much space.
Yeah. To get your point across, to get why the reader wants to read your story.
Right.
I want to get Durkin in because he is world building at the expense of his narrative structure. And
If he hears you say that, he's going to be like, I won't comment then if you're going to say that.
oh, for fuck's sake, he's supposed to be a writer. Christ.
Yeah.
Because that would be interesting for him because we've got really the whole bell curve in terms of opinions about writing and style. So he as a world builder who wants to tell a story within a world that he may never finish building, this would be a really good way for him to break it. Because then he can have a think about, fuck it, I'm still going to keep building my world, screw everybody else's opinion. Or have what alcoholics call a moment of clarity. And maybe just think, you know what? No, I'm going to arrow in now and just write 10 focused pages. Because
having anyone on is good.
Well, having a giant
can be on, anyone should be able to be on.
Yeah, but he's got to be able to tell a story, not just build a world, unless he's going to write a comic book, source book.
That is one of the most. I've seen other art, like webcomic artists specifically, get stuck on the whole world building phase, and they just never end up telling a story.
Yeah.
Many such cases. Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's all right. We should cash out on that.
All right. So then next week, are we doing Tuesday or Wednesday?
Should be. Well, yeah. Wait, you said Tuesday was better?
For crypto.
Yeah, for crypto.
The people who work Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So
Wednesday next week works for me fine.
Then we're gonna go Wednesday next week.
Yeah, Wednesday next week. Then that's fine.
Okay, cool. All right. I will see everyone Wednesday next week. To everyone watching, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for having us, Preston.
Yeah. This has been Preston Poulter with Pocket Jacks Comics. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Take care.
bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. All right.